About 3 minutes here until market opens. Got about 1 minute and 40 seconds till market opens. So, this, I don't I don't want to say sell off because gotta use the right terminology. This was a news play. This was or news catalyst move. This was give me one sec. This was yeah, the ADP report showing job losses. So that was a news catalyst play during the pre-market. We got about a minute here till market opens. You can see the recovery here, right? No coincidence, we ended up pulling back to 617 on the SPY. Starting to see some sellers step in, pull back on 179.45 on, I'm sorry, 617.20 on Qs, right? Buyers are stepping in. Uh, Nvidia, top of the range. It was at the top of the range. This was on my close watch list, looking for a break and retest over 184.50. So, I mean, we ended up pulling back. Let's see if we can get back to the top of the range. The only name that I would really be looking to short here is AMD. That's literally the only name I would short here. Let's see, 20 seconds. Big recovery here. Nvidia. And then we do have red folder news at 7 a.m. Obviously not looking to short Nvidia. Let's see. Gonna let this first 2 minute candle do its thing. I'm most likely gonna remove Nvidia off my off my close watch list anyway. Let's see. Yeah, it's like that's smack in the middle of the range. There's like nothing here for me. Unless we can get a crazy bounce and this thing just rallies up, but I doubt it. I'm really watching AMD and Qs. Like I said, I only really trade the SPY in the Qs when I don't have a setup on my other tech names. Thing is, I know that Qs is really moving the SPY. So market just open. Like I said, AMD is the one like I'm definitely looking to short. That's the only name I'm really open to shorting is AMD. This 214 is a key level. I love that it's a support level on the daily, and it's also back against the previous day low. It's a good confluence. No surprise here. SPY respecting is 279.85. You can clearly see here, right, during the pre-market. It's a great opportunity here. Too aggressive for me though. You guys know I don't trade that first 2 minute candle. Kind of a decent recovery bounce here on Nvidia. I really hope Nvidia could get back to the top of the range. You can see this 15 minute. Buyers are stepping up here at 179.45. Very unfortunate about that news catalyst play because we were dead smack at the top of the range. Just looked really, really good. So we'll see what happens. Keep in mind, right now, AMD is in between the previous day high, previous day low. Let me zoom out here. See what I mean? The reason I like this short, look at that. You can see, right, the last 3 days, we have, treated this level as support. So if we fall into that, I just want to see the support turn into resistance. I don't really care to go long off this because then we'll just be in the middle of this range. It's a big RR trade to the downside. And like I said, in between 225 and 203, we're neutral. We're not bullish or bearish bias on AMD. So it's really the only name I'm comfortable shorting to the downside. IB's elevated a little bit. Nothing crazy, but it's definitely elevated a little bit. And NVIDIA's doing a great job holding 179.45. And then right now, what I'm trying to do, is spot some divergence between QQQ and AMD. Right now, Q's and SPY also inside bar day. It's pretty unfortunate because they opened at the top of the range. Okay, that's good displacement there on AMD. That's exactly what you want to see. If I try to be patient here because the IB is sitting around 71, so it's nothing too crazy here on AMD. But you're looking at the 212.50 calls. I'm sorry, puts on AMD. Be patient here on my water. Yeah, 212.50 puts on AMD is what I'm looking at. Yeah, I'm spotting some divergence here. You can see SPY hasn't had a down close candle. AMD's heavy. Really nothing right now on the Qs. 'Cause. Yeah, definitely some divergence here on AMD. Yeah, that's exactly what you want to see. So I'm gonna be patient here on a deeper pullback. And then remember, the bigger displacement, the better, because now we just have a swing low to target. That's exactly what I want. Yeah, that's solid. That's what you want to see. Clearly displacement, right? And then we do have red photo news at 7 a.m., so in about 20 minutes. Yeah, big RR here on AMD that sets up. 612.50, 615. See what the market does here. Okay, clearly seeing the videos trying to hold this. Since we had that sell-off during pre-market, we opened right at the top of the range. Looked like we are gonna have another that same setup, but it's definitely holding. It's 179.45. Mm, yeah. Pretty much a choppy open here in the market. Like I said, we just have red folder news at 7, so I wouldn't be surprised if things start to pick up after that. 212. Clear divergence around Tesla actually. You can see we're still sitting in the range we took out the previous day high, but clear divergence around Tesla. Apple's just strong. Look how strong Apple is. That sell-off during the pre-market didn't even affect Apple. It did nothing at all. This thing's still making all-time highs. So, if anything, that just gives me extra conviction here on AMD being weaker than the market. But if the price action isn't too good, not really fond of it. Let's see. Yeah, honestly, everything's doing pretty good bouncing, to be honest. Like levels are holding. Even Nvidia's defending, this 179.45. You can clearly see that. Obviously, Apple's up. Yeah, honestly, out of everything, AMD is actually the weakest. That's definitely the weakest, at least out of all the tech names I'm looking at. This thing starts to bounce with the overall market, though. That's the thing though. Like if we get this retest and it's bouncing with the market, I'm not gonna, short this. See the correlation? If everything's bouncing and so is this, right? I can't take that. And really, this is just SPY holding, right? The 679.85. Hughes is holding, its previous day low right above it. Right. So I always say you got to zoom out, get the bigger picture. We're definitely not bearish. We haven't even pulled back to the previous day low, but Hughes is holding. It's definitely holding. I need a deeper pullback here on AMD though for me to actually take this short entry. Deeper the pullback, the better, the tighter the risk. Let's see. Got about 10 minutes here until red folder news. So I probably won't even touch anything until that passes. Let the first 30 minutes play out. Because if AMD reclaims this previous day low, buyers are just more likely to push it back. So this is a key level here, right? What I'm looking for here is you see this acting as support. We just got the break. I want to see this turn into resistance. That's super solid. We already broke down the break and retest yesterday off the 225. So this is just a continuation to the downside here. Like this is a big break. 3 days in a row, we've held 214.85 as support. I want to see if we can turn it into resistance. This market's bouncing, right? I can't blindly go long here. Context matters. I like that I'm seeing wicks every time we push up, for sure. Definitely like that. But what do you notice here about QQQ and AMD? Look at AMD kind of moving higher while Q's is moving lower. It's my main thing that I'm watching. About 8 minutes here to red folder. If I don't like being in trades during red folder news. News invalidates technical analysis. So you know if we kind of get closer to that, I'm just gonna sit on my hands and wait till that passes. Don't let anyone tell you differently. If you are in a trade when news comes out, you are gambling because anything can happen. News invalidates technical analysis. Jerome Powell doesn't care about your key levels. What I'm possibly looking at here is just like kind of this lower day bounce. Slower day bounce. Got about 5 minutes until news comes out. I'd rather just sit on my hands until that. Remember, SPY Qs gets these up. We're not bearish. We're just looking for a pullback opportunity. If anything, I would love for these to fail, squeeze out the retail traders, and then play the reclaim on that. I would actually prefer that. Reason I would play the reclaim is you can see on the pullback, even at market open, buyers actually are defending the 679. So I would actually prefer us to fail into this and then reclaim. See what I mean there? That's your pullback long, but I'm not taking that, especially on the overall market. If we got red folder news coming out, I'm not touching that. See, a lot of traders would get FOMO right here thinking they missed out on the short, but I'm not taking any position until after 7 a.m. now. Not at all. We'll prefer a deeper pullback here actually on the Qs, but I think Qs just pulled back, swept the previous day's low, and bounced off that. Let me see. No, not yet. Almost. Almost did. You can look at the 15 here. I mean, definitely holding up. Crazy. We were sitting at the top of the range above the previous day high. And that news catalyst thing just pulled us back. Really nice here on SPY. Crappy timing though. It's not something I want to be in. Because remember, you're getting in at the bottom of the range. It's a big RR trade. But I can't touch SPY before news comes out. I have the 15 minutes on my right hand side too. I'm just trying to give you guys a visual. See that wick on the 15? I love that. Like that's what you want to see. A little bit of a slow mover today though, as of now on AMD. Yesterday we did have a nice trendy day though. Like look how much we moved yesterday. This thing went from 225, I'm around that to 226, all the way back down to 214. So we had a big move day yesterday on the dollar amount. Beautiful pullback here on SPY. Like I said, not something I would really touch until after news comes out. That is text, but that tells me I did my job, found a key level. So we'll see what happens for news. Got about 3 minutes here. See, some of the best traders can show up every day and do absolutely nothing. Right? You don't have to take a trade. I've learned that patience is a skill. Patience is definitely a skill, and not everyone is born with it. Just gotta practice it. See what happens here. Give me one sec. The news that will be coming out here is yeah, in a minute and 30 seconds. So we'll see. Let's see. See what I mean here though? Like everything's bouncing. It's not the best price action. Wouldn't be surprised if we kind of have like a blow off top here. Like I'm no longer spotting divergence. If anything, I'm spotting strength on AMD compared to the market. If anything. See what happens here. Okay. And that's why you wait till news pass, because this candle looked like a perfect retest, didn't it? This red candle looked like a perfect retest. No, no. If AMD reclaims this, I'm pretty much hands off. I don't care to go long off this level anymore because it's no longer a high probability setup. Super solid here. Just the timing sucked on SPY. Pull back long off our key level, already back at the high day, zero down close candles. It's a beautiful setup. Don't practice bad habits though. Out of everything in the market, the last two names you want to be in a trade when news comes out is actually SPY and QQQ. That's the last thing you want to be in a trade on. You can see when we get a pop on Qs, we get a pop on AMD. So I'm not really spotting divergence here. All right, then if we reclaim this, beautiful here on SPY, bro. That was textbook. That sucks. We got this set up like right before news came out. That sucks. That is textbook. Like I said, I'm a risk manager before I'm a trader. That is textbook, bro. Look at that. That is, come on now. It's beautiful. Let's see what the video is doing. I mean, we know we're bullish bias on NVIDIA. I mean, just look at how it defended 179.45. That's exactly what you want to see. This sell-off during the pre-market sucks. Because I definitely was about to take this trade again, like 2 days in a row. Beautiful here. 179.45 being respected. That's textbook. Very good here to hold our water. Avoided a fake out. SPY, man. That sucks. No regrets, though. I don't FOMO. I'm not taking a trade on the overall market when news comes out. That's crazy. But if you guys caught that, kudos to you. Like, it doesn't get better than that. Like, that is textbook. Man, if you were able to catch this on SPY, that is solid. Zero drawdown on this trade. Literally zero drawdown. Like I said, I'm not touching that before news. He ended up getting a candle closure. Yeah, like 4 minutes before red folder news comes out. So no regrets there. Me going long off of 214.85 was not on my plan. So I'm not taking that trade. Just because you can see it's inside bar day. Um, we can clearly see there's some resistance kind of sitting here. The higher probability short for me was under 214.85. So we did really good here holding our water. Um, and then we didn't spot any more divergence between the market. This actually looks stronger. But now you can see, look at Qs and then look at AMD. Actually, look at all three. Just in sync right now. So context matters. So most likely gonna be a cash day for me. And the video was the one that looked like we're definitely gonna get that. Let's see. Nothing on Apple, Google, nothing on Google. And which is honestly not surprising. I mean, you can see the last 3 days on Google, like it's literally been doing nothing. Right? We respected it, and then now we're kind of just doing nothing. Clearly, right? Oof. Big sell off here on so I just broke this down yesterday. So I actually like Netflix now. We're definitely bearish biased on this name. This looks really good actually. See, falling under this, now we've broken structure. So now we're looking for a break and retest under 106 or 103. So I'll mark out some new key levels today. from Netflix. Crazy sell off here. I'm gonna check the news really quick. Yeah, crazy sell off there. Sheesh Louise. This is beautiful in the spine, man. Crappy timing. We went from, I mean, bro, on the dot. That's crazy. It's just right off the pre-market plan. If you caught that, right off the pre-market plan, right? If you watched yesterday's video, I said, I mean, we can clearly see our 679 being respected perfectly. What did I say pre-market, right? When I see these type of quote unquote, pullbacks, I don't necessarily want to say sell-offs. I just see them as opportunities, right? Like if you understand what you're looking for and you're going with the overall market, look at that perfect pullback. I see that as an opportunity. Some may think, oh, we're going to sell off crazy, crazy. We pulled right back to our key level and it gets respected on the dot, right? We went to 679.70 and pushed all the way up to 682.35. Like if that was a zero, you definitely got 100% return on that trade, especially with the momentum in your favor. But like I said, right, history likes to repeat itself. So that's exactly what we want to see here, right? I've been saying the bottom of this range has definitely been supporting. Look at that. Every single time. Every single time. That's textbook. That was another opportunity, right? Like I said, I see pullbacks as opportunities. I just didn't take this trade because we have red voter news coming out. Like, that can go either way. That can go either way. Let's see. IWM. Solid here. Solid recovery on IWM actually. You know your bullish bias on this name. Ended up actually giving you a solid break and retest. That's actually really good break and retest. Good displacement. And this thing rips all the way up to the high day. So solid there on there. Clear divergence here on Tesla. This is really good though. I just broke this down and this is what I want to see on Tesla. I want to see Tesla just rip through all this crap. The last thing I want is for Tesla to, I'll show you, right? We broke it down. We went up top of the range, pulled back, top of the range. We pulled all the way back, V-shaped recovery, and now we're recovering back to the top of the range. So depending on how today closes, Tesla's actually going to be on my close watch list tomorrow. This is a really good thing. Like I said, out of all these daily candles, we've only had one down close red candle on the daily. And look where the body of the candle closed. So it's really just, an even day between the buyers and the sellers. So on Tesla, right, I want to see that. I said this a while ago. My analysis is the time is it's correlating, right? Like I said, I think it was 12/17. It's been almost a year exact since price has got over 466.50 and actually held. So, today's the third, right? We're pushing up very fast here, very fast. So going into tomorrow, now I'm very open to this. A break and retest over 450 and over 466. All you got to do is look left and see, right, how fast we're moving. Like this is good to me. I don't want Tesla sitting in here. I want us to continue to rip through here. That is beautiful. That is solid. I mean, we were just at the bottom of the range. Now we're on our way to the top of the range. That's exactly what you want to see. So this makes me happy, right? I was a little afraid, Tesla can just start to do that for the longest. Now that we're back dead smack in the middle of the range, but it's flying through here. It's flying through here. It's pretty crazy to see. I mean, right? We were just at 389.25 and now we're at 440. It's crazy. So this thing is rallying. Look at the daily candle on this thing. Clear divergence today on Tesla, right? I'm a risk manager before I'm a trader, so I wasn't even looking to take this trade. You see, we got the retest here during the pre-market. So I've been trying to teach you, if we open up and we just rip to the upside or downside, it's not necessarily that we're just ripping. We already got the retest. This is the retest during the pre-market. So that was solid there. Let's look at this on the weekly. Right, look at the last 2 weeks on Tesla. It's today's Wednesday, right? So we're halfway through the week, but this is a strong bullish candle. Tesla is just ripping right now. That's exactly what we want to see. So keep in mind, Tesla can move, on average $20 in a day, and if it really wants to go more than that. So I don't, I don't think this has a problem getting back to 450 at all. We can clearly see, what 439. We're basically $10 away, basically $10 away. So I thought Tesla was just going to be off the list for the remainder of the month, to be honest. But we're doing good, right? We're being patient. We're being risk managers before traders because when you look at this on the 15-minute, right, look at the price action here, right? Like we don't want to be in that. Not at all. That's nasty price action. So let's just let this thing keep doing its thing, keep ripping to the upside. Hopefully we could just rip through all this noise. But look, we're back at 450. Today the high is 442, so we were less than $10 away. Tesla looks really, really good. If anything, I'm shocked on how fast it's ripping to the upside. So that's exactly what you want to see here. Solid here on Nvidia. Like I said, anything under 184, I'm hands off, but our 179.45 did its job, right? Looking for pullback longs. This is a low probability environment for me. But I mean, like, even on the 2 minute, solid here. Pretty much got to push back up into the high day. Apple's just chopping around, right? Probably won't touch Apple for a while. Nothing on AMD. All right, so pretty much a cash day for me. Pretty much a cash day for me. SPY set up beautifully, bro. That is textbook. Crappy timing. I was hoping I got another pullback here on the SPY, but and then let's go here to all right, and then let me break this down because I kind of just said this. Well, I did for the Discord during the pre-market, but I just said like now the really the highest opportunity shot on the SPY is really over 285.25. The reason for that being is because even though clearly, right? I mean clearly our key level is being respected here. Um, this is 4 days though now, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 days just in between 685 and 679. That's 4 days. So on a technical standpoint, we're just doing this. Down here is the highest probability shot, right? Because we're bullish bias. You want to be in a trade down here before we get back up here. This is your highest probability shot. Like today, if you caught that, you're chilling, right? You're chilling. You got to think of it as you're buying the dip buy, right? You're buying the dip. So you want to be in a trade down here before we get back up here. But on a technical standpoint, we're just sitting in here. I'll clear this up for you, right? That's all we're doing. Just sitting in here. Highest probability shots are down here though. Oh, solid day. Yep, cash day for me. It's really nothing else setting up. Nothing looked. The only thing that looked good was AMD. To me, that was like the highest probability short. I mean, now we're just also dead smack in the middle of the range on AMD. We did good though, holding our water here, right? Understanding context. I'm spotting that, hey, AMD is starting to look stronger. All you gotta do is just look at Qs and look at AMD. AMD was starting to push, why Qs was technically still on an intraday downtrend, pulling back to our key level. So that was something that really stood out to me. Yeah, definitely gonna call it here. See, market hasn't even been open for an hour, but kind of a quick day. I think that's well, I don't think that sell-off did uh during the pre-market, that pullback kind of did set us back a little bit. Because SPY open, SPY was sitting above or sitting right with the previous day high. So we're open at the top of the range. So breaking retest over 685. It looked like we were gonna get that today. Like I said, Nvidia, I mean, man, I was thinking like, oh, okay, back to back, right? 8 times out of 10, this trade works. Yesterday it worked, but we didn't get that hold in continuation. So today I was like, oh man, if this sets up again, right? Is today our shot where this ends up holding the overall market sitting, above the previous day high. This looks really good. Unfortunately, didn't get that. But you can see here, we're bullish buys. We ended up pulling back to 179.45. Buyers are holding. So if you took a shot there, kudos to you. Um, and I definitely liked my game plan here, right? I never marry a bias, never. So, as long as we're between 225 and 203 here on AMD, I'm open to both ways. But just so this makes sense to you on what I was looking at is, right, beautiful. We got the break and retest day before, break and retest here, acted as resistance here. So what did that do? We got the break, we got the retest, it held. Right, we fell under, we got the break and retest this day, pushed back to the top of the range. Right, this ended up being a break and retest on the short side under 225. We pull all the way back. Buyers actually step up, push this thing higher. We had that sell off during the pre-market, right? And we're defending this. So I say all that to say, our 214.85 is a key support level here. So what I loved about it is for the last pretty much 3 to 4 days now, right? We've turned this into support. So what I want to see, this. I want to see that turn into resistance. And I love the confluence here because we'll also be under the previous day low, which we were. So this looked really, really good. Super high RR trade. This plans out. There's nothing in its way. Nothing in its way. So we did really good holding our water here. Understanding the context, reading the market, seeing that the market is pulling back, but we had a nice little lower day bounce here. And AMD actually looks stronger than the overall market. So we ended up skipping that trade. This is how we avoid fake outs. This is how we avoid bad setups, bad plays. We only take high probability shots. So even if you get a retest here, like I'm hands off because to me that's just no longer a high probability shot, right? I'm sitting between the previous day high, the previous day low, and we're not even bullish bias, so I don't really care to take this trade on an inside bar day. Now the A plus long would be really above 225. Very patient, just waiting on that. Hope that makes sense. What else? Am I missing anything? Don't think so. Amazon. Yeah, this thing got affected too during the pre-market. Yeah, everything was open, at the top of the range, and then we just have to that news come in. You can see here, we're just sitting sideways on Amazon. That's why I'm hands off here to 236. Yeah. Um, yeah, I think that's about it. Really nothing for me today. You end up getting your pullback long here on SPY. If you took that without really caring about the news, definitely cash out on that. Didn't get a deep enough pullback here on Qs. Didn't even pull back to the previous day low fully. I was hoping we would have swept this. IWM, nice recovery here. All right, we can't sleep on IWM. Like this thing is we're bullish bias on this name. This is an A plus shot. I've already broken that down. So solid recovery. Honestly, we already broke through the previous day high. Yeah, we broke through the previous day high. I mean, you can clearly see we got some resistance in here, but IWM looks really good. I'm keeping an eye on this 248.55. It looks really, really good. Yeah, it's going to take a while for Apple to pull back. Just 3 days in a row. I mean, this thing is gone. This thing's gone. I'm not touching this at the top of the range. No way. I think that's it. Side watches. Amazon. I'm sorry. Netflix is gone. We already broke that down. Amazon opened up at, I'm sorry, Netflix opened up at 106. It's sitting at 10. The lower day is 102. So that's a big drop on Netflix. But we are bearish bias now on this name. Definitely bearish bias. So I'll add this to I'll break this down and add it to the pre-market plan going into tomorrow. All right, you definitely got a break and retest under 103.80. Good displacement, retest here, risking right above. Solid. Okay, definitely gonna call it here. Slow day, really nothing going on in the market today, at least for me. At least for me, not the best price action as well. I would say the only thing that set up today, yeah, was SPY, pull back long off of 279.85. Solid there if you caught that. Other than that, really nothing else. None on the video. It looked promising. If you caught this at the bottom of the range, you're chilling. Pull back long, 179.45. The true ninja friend, and the dip is what? Your best friend. None on Apple, and then none on AMD. Nothing on AMD. AMD looked pretty promising. Definitely did. We ended up, yeah, it was 214. We made a low here at 211.75. So crazy bounce here. This thing pulled, we had this low day bounce. This thing bounced all the way back up to the high day, above the high day, actually. So crazy bounce here. But, when you look at all three of these names, just look across the board. Really not much going on. Solid trade there on SPY and Qs. I'm sorry, on SPY, but nothing going on. And I hope, you're building the habit of looking at the overall market before you take a trade. Like, I hope you are, because it's kind of crazy to even look at. Like, when I say, all right, these things are identical twins to overall market, just look at it, right? It's literally identical. This is SPY and this is the Qs. Look at this candle, look at this candle. Crazy. Look at this candle, look at this candle, right? Like, these things are in sync. They are in sync. Identical twins. Um, what else? Yeah, this was a solid way to hold our water, right? Understanding, hey, news is coming out. I don't like that. I don't like that. This lower day bounce, buyer stepped up. We only had one? We only had two down close candles back in this uptrend, which is crazy. So, buyer stepped up very aggressively here, shot this thing higher. But hope you guys had a good day. Today was a cash day for me. Remember, not trading is still trading and proper risk management, and cash is still a position. You don't have to take a trade every day, right? Plan your trade, trade your plan. So, yeah, I think that's it. We'll see what happens. Market, I'm out of here quick. Market in 2 minutes it'd be open for 1 hour. So really nothing going on today. I would say that sell off during the pre-market definitely affected us. Definitely affected us. And the video looked really, really good. My eyes were like a kid at a candy store. So on that video one. But yep, gonna call it. Appreciate the love, support, and I will see you guys on the next one.